things privately. The same way that dealerships don't like you not buying from their fiefdoms, where you have to buy cars from only a set number of dealerships who all have different medallions, and that's the only way you're allowed to have a new car dealership or a dealership that's in Toyota or Honda or any of the other big names, which I'm not going to give anybody else any airtime. But yeah, that's the way it is. And I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. But going from there into a special movie that we're going to do a spoiler-free review of. I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse early.
How was it?
It was great. It's an origin story. So if you're going in there thinking that it's going to be all web slinging and fucking bitches, it's not going to be how the movie's going to roll. They did a really good job with the father-son dynamic, and even a lot of the supporting characters are great. You are going to see a whole bunch of Spider-Men and Spider-Women, and that's going to be interesting for you, especially if you know the backstories of like Spider-Gwen or the mecha anime Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty good. It was nice seeing Spider-Man Noir because you're going to know who that voice is. I'm not going to spoil it by telling you whose voice it is. But when you hear that person's voice, you can be like,
Beyonce.
That's not...
Hey, it's me.
No, it was not Beyonce. I can tell you that. It was not.
I'm sorry, Beyonce. I was just joking.
It was not Beyonce. But when you hear this person's voice, and I'll tell you afterwards if you want to know. Now, the one thing I didn't see, because this is an early premiere, is I didn't stay for the after credit sequence because I wanted to, have something to watch when I see it on Thursday. Which by the time you hear this, the movie will have already come out. But I saw this a week ahead of time because fuck you, I get paid. But it is what it is. It's really great. One thing I will tell you guys that I will kind of give you a light spoiler of that you should know is that there is a Stan Lee cameo in there, and it is really good. It's probably his third to last one because we know he has one in Captain Marvel and we know he has one in Avengers Endgame. But that's probably it. But there was one in there, and what he says in there, it's like, damn, nigga, you had to die too? Fuck.
You all gotta die sometime.
I mean, I know we all gotta die sometime, but it's like what he says is so poignant to the fact that he also died, as well as what the point in the film where that interaction takes place. Which I'm not gonna ruin that for anyone because you needed to watch it, but it was really poignant. They also had a in-credit sequence where they said, basically, thank you to Stan Lee and one of the other guys who did the animations and stuff, who both died. Thank you for showing us basically that there can be different super, heroes and whatnot. And it's like, it was really nice, really well put together. But overall, the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I think is going to be a great series. I really hope that Sony makes this into its own franchise, kind of like Venom. Because with the way that they're doing things, they kind of tease at maybe the spider people being able to communicate across dimensions. And that opens up some really interesting...
They said the next one's going to be all girls.
Okay. Damn. Did Spider-Gwen get in her own movie?
Didn't they learn from Ghostbusters? Stop putting the women...
Well, no. Ghostbusters was not as bad.
No, Ghostbusters was not as bad. And neither was Ocean's 8.
I didn't see
and Ocean's 8 was actually the one that made the most money out of all the Ocean's franchises.
It wasn't bad, but Ghostbusters, the girl version, was trash to me.
I mean, it wasn't
No,
that bad.
it wasn't as trash as they said it was, but I still think it was trash.
Again, I think that it's an average movie in today's world where we want great. But it's an average... Again, it's
but
not...
like this, it should have had a sequel.
It should have had a sequel, and it's not worthy of a Razzie. So that's what I'm saying. Again, I'm not saying that it's the best. No. Again, my favorite Ocean's movie, if we're going to take it back to the previous example, is, of course, Ocean's 13, because the stakes were fucking ridiculous. But at the same time, that movie didn't make as much money because it cost, $250 million to make?
Many stars.
So
you can pay women less in Hollywood, so it makes sense.
I mean, that's kind of like the problem that's going to be for Ocean's.
That's not a problem.
Ocean's 9 is going to be that. So you're going to have to add one more woman. And on top of that, the Asian chick, her pay raise just went up because of Crazy Rich Asians, because she played
that movie didn't do that good, did it?
No, Crazy Rich Asians did phenomenal.
It just wasn't that great of a movie, though.
Again, it's not that great of a romance, but it's faithful to the book. And it shows Asian people at a time where they want representation, and it shows them as being more than just, I am the hokey Asian character stereotype.
Or Kung Fu Asian.
Exactly, or something like that.
It seem like a trailblazing, but it's...
I mean, again, it's not that it's trailblazing. It's that we're living in a world that's becoming post-white. So, now you're starting to see a lot of, you've got,
238 million.
238. Yeah, that did
Off
really
30.
well.
They made
30.
30.
Yeah, on 30, that's great.
For what, Crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
It
Crazy.
took 30
The
million
movie,
to make it.
because they was advocating that movie so hard to where it was
Well,
like,
also,
oh,
yeah. Well, no, they had a great
it's
media
big,
blitz.
yeah,
I don't
they
know
did.
who ran their media team, but
did.
those are the niggas you need if you get in a fucking PR
Wasn't
nightmare.
that movie? The other movie you saw had an Asian guy in it, Missing. Or,
Oh yeah, Searching. Searching was also great, but
How
the
did
problem
Searching-
is,
Was it?
I knew Searching wasn't going to do well commercially because it talks about missing teenagers, which is something we like to pretend like doesn't happen. Also, the fact that you should never ever spend a night in any national federal park because we don't keep numbers on the amount of people that go missing, and we only do cursory searches.
What's that other movie
Honestly,
good
only
too?
white
You know what I'm
people do
talking
that
about? The one where
Generally.
what is it called? Where like they're all like on a computer and they're all chatting together. What was the name of that movie?
That might have been Searching.
No, that's Searching because Searching was made
entirely.
entirely.
$1 million,
You sure that was
they
it?
made 70.
No. Searching was made entirely through Apple devices. So MacBooks, iPhones, all that stuff. Like the entire movie is made through Apple things. Like that's one of the things I thought that was genius about it because I also saw that one earlier.
You sure this is the same movie?
No, it's the
Yeah.
same movie because
You
it's
got
The
it.
one where
stars-
they got into the dark web or something like that.
No, you're talking about something.
No, now
See,
you're
that's
talking
not
about
bad.
now you're talking about some scary. Now you're talking about what's that name of that horror
Basically,
movie?
that's what I'm talking about. They were all on the computer together, and then somebody entered into
Yeah,
their
okay, I know what you're talking
conversation.
about.
But it was somebody from like the dark web or something like that, and they
Oh
ended
yeah,
up, they ended up looking at one of the
making it look
videos.
Like one of them killed everybody else.
Yeah, what
I
was?
saw that review on our. Let's call them out again.
Let's call them out. Found Flicks.
Found flicks.
Our nigga
We
Found
don't watch
Flicks.
full movies around here, especially ones we ain't trying to see. Found flicks.
Although I do
reviews
still
a
need to
movie in
watch
under 10
The
minutes.
Apostle.
It makes me go back. If I would say if it was worth my time, I'd go back because I went and saw a movie and I should have found flicks it. What's that movie that came out?
What is it called again?
Found Flicks on
Found-
Netflix.
oh.
Yeah, he'll
On
review
YouTube.
movies, and he's very, very good.
It's on
at it.
Netflix?
Yeah,
YouTube.
No,
Okay.
YouTube.
YouTube,
I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna say.
Yeah, he's very good. Like if you ever don't want to watch he does horror movies for the most part, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like because horror movies, you get a lot of trash. So I was
Yeah,
like,
you do get a
yeah,
lot of trash. I was surprised that he did Searching. I was like, nigga, you doing?
It's kind of like drama horror.
I mean,
going
well,
on.
it is kind of like drama horror because the original ending they went with that
He ate $70 million off
something
$1
bad
million.
happens. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, $70 million off $1 million. So it took
I mean,
$1
no.
million.
That guy, he did triple numbers. But then again, also he was a former Google like guy. So I mean, like he had all the industry connections.
Yeah.
He had the
Really?
ability to get all the stuff. Yeah, because when I saw that movie early release, basically when they were basically doing testing because they didn't know where they wanted to put it in August. Essentially, Sony was scared because Sony's often scared. So that's why they show a lot of their movies ahead of time because they want to know, are we doing things right? Do we need to switch anything? But like he had like this whole thing where he opened up, and he just basically talked about how I've been doing these things, for Google for forever, and I just really wanted to be a filmmaker. And it's like only a rich Indian nigga could be like, I'm done being this other successful career. I'm now going to start on this venture campaign. And I'm going to make it with somebody else's money. But I also have enough money to pay off the loans to them because I'm doing well in life. Also, I came from a small, little poor village, and I've managed to rebuild my entire village. We're all great here now. Things are wonderful. A shout out to my boys at Google. I know Ajit Pai, even though he's a piece of shit person. He's also Indian, and I feel like we need to be nicer to him. And it's like, whoa, like you lost me at the whole throwing in Ajit Pai. Like you had me kind of up here, and then like the Ajit Pai thing, he's a piece of shit. We're not gonna forgive him. But yeah, Searching did pretty well.
that nigga
But to
got a lot
kind
of money.
of to roll backwards, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you're definitely gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you.
Not
If you
a
want to
kid's
know the
movie.
voice cameo, I'll tell y'all after the thing.
Because you just said now and take it out. All right, let's move on to the
Moving
next
on
subject.
into the last part of entertainment, we're going to talk about music mentions. Scum Gang came through with Dummy Boy, which was absolutely trash, except for the parts where Kanye West was on. His verse on Mama I thought was pretty good. His verse on the other song was pretty good. Nicki's verse on that song was not bad either, Mama. There was 2 tracks on here that are actually in Spanish, which did not feel like they needed to be on this particular album. It felt like Tekashi 6ix9ine was trying to branch out a little bit, and I do like him branching out. Look, 6ix9ine, like I need you to not be a jackass and just throw things on here because your album's not long enough. Like, I mean,
How many tracks?
it comes in at a lowly 13 tracks.
Lowly.
Lowly 13.
Hold
And
on.
I say lowly because no track here is over 3 minutes long.
But you know that short albums is like the wave right now.
I get it,
Yeah.
It
but
is.
like other
But that's
songs.
actually kind of long comparably to if it's 13 tracks. But you said it's not 13 full tracks.
No, it's not 13 full track because his first album was longer, and even though that reused a whole bunch of tracks like Billy that had already come out, but it still was longer. But
How long was the album in total?
in total, the album is less than 30 minutes. It's like 20.
13 tracks.
It's
Yeah.
13 tracks. Only two of them hit the 3-minute mark.
right there.
Yeah,
13 tracks in
30 minutes.
Yeah,
You might as well have put out something like Kanye, and Kanye had put out 5 in 24 minutes.
yeah. But
That's
the difference
crazy.
is Kanye understands that we're not about to be up here listening to this bullshit.
Well,
And
yeah.
the two tracks I'm talking about are BB and Mala. They're both with the same person that's featured, but both of them are tracks that are in Spanish for the most part. So if you take those two tracks out there, because most niggas I think gonna skip them things.
Yeah.
So when niggas skip them two tracks, it's now down to 11. So now you barely hitting, and these are two of the longer tracks on the album. Yeah, these are the tracks that are the 3-minute ones. So you down now to what, 21 minutes?
Yeah, because now I think about it, even when I was looking at when he first came out with Gunmo, that track was what, 90 seconds or how long was that?
Gummo was longer, but also shorter.
But when he first released, it was.
But yeah, when he first released it, he released like a minute of it.
It was like a 90 seconds or something like
Yeah.
that.
You're right.
But I think he's been.
But I
he's
mean,
throwing
to be
it out
honest, this is par for the course. Because looking back at day 69 graduation, this album right here, just looking at it, couldn't have been longer than 20 minutes. Like Gummo was one of the longer tracks. Billy, which is a song that he arguably was most known for at that time, was only 1 minute and 52 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And half of it was screaming. So really, it's a minute long. Like he's trying to do the whole terror whack thing where the tracks are a minute, but he doesn't have the grace, the speed, the stamina, the ability to kind of get the ideas across. Because at least with Terror Whack, which shout out to Tara, she actually got it. The ideas out in a minute.
Yeah. That's the new chick, right?
Yeah, the new chick used to be a battle rapper, so she made an album that wasn't like battle rapping to kind of keep that going.
But it was kind of. I was listening to another podcast, and not to even mention it, but they was talking about how because she was a new artist, she needed to put out a fuller content so the world could be introduced to her more, rather than those minute-plus clips of her rapping.
Okay. I mean, I don't disagree with that. So I don't know what podcast it was, but I agree with that thing. Like, you definitely need to have more actual content out there.
Artist, because we don't know what we're getting from you, at least at this point. So
True. I mean, she did kind of make it into like a full thing, but at the same time, I get it. I got it 100%.
Yeah.
The other thing that came out was JID DiCaprio 2, which it looks like Leonardo DiCaprio got mad at him using an early picture of him, so he had to switch it to a picture of an Oscar. But I thought JID, this was a nice little look
Who
for
the
him.
fuck is JID?
JID, you remember
always
that trick?
puts
You
out
remember
good
that track that I
products.
played you? Get off my dick, get off my dick, get off my dick. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Off these.
He was trash.
JID puts out.
He puts out quality. He puts out quality
he does.
stuff.
That song was trash though, right?
You don't like the song. I thought it was great.
He's not somebody you just sleep on. He's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Give me. There's a guy in New York that I'd be sleeping on, but that nigga's good, man.
Who?
You gotta say his name.
Davies.
Dave East.
Oh, you didn't listen to Beloved this year?
I'd be slipping on him, man.
Man, you should listen to Beloved. Styles P plus Dave East was actually fucking fire. Which I don't know why I said actually. Like Styles P ain't been putting out good shit for a while. But yeah, Beloved, you got to check that out when you get a chance. But no, don't sleep on JID. You may not have liked that one track, but the overall album I thought was pretty damn good. While that is probably one of the better, I think, tracks on the project, it all flows together pretty well. Slick Talk I thought was a pretty good starter track. 151 Rum, great track as well. Working Out, I thought that the added intro is a little bit much. Hot Box with Method Man was really good. And the ending bonus track, Hasta Luego, was also pretty good. But overall, the tracks kind of flow very well. Only track that I can think of that I was expecting more from was probably him on Westbrook, which is the second actual track on the album. But everything else is pretty much fire. And you definitely should give it a chance when you get an opportunity, R. Reed and Armstead.
Thank you. I will.
Well, much appreciated. But we're going to go ahead and go into